The dilapidated orphanage stood cloaked in shadows, a silent witness to untold sorrows. Its windows, like vacant eyes, stared into the night with an unsettling emptiness. As I entered, the air grew heavy, burdened by the weight of a tragic history. Flickering candlelight revealed forgotten toys strewn across the cold floor, frozen in time. The hushed echoes of children's laughter lingered, a haunting reminder of the joy that once inhabited these desolate walls. A chill gripped me as I explored the orphanage's forsaken rooms where faded photographs hinted at the faces of those who had long departed. In the dim glow, a spectral figure emerged, a child in tattered clothing, staring at me with vacant eyes. Whispers filled the air, recounting tales of neglect and suffering that permeated the orphanage's past. The child's ghost beckoned me to follow, leading me through shadow-laden corridors. A door creaked open to a room untouched by time, its walls adorned with crayon drawings that told a heartbreaking story of loneliness. A chilling breeze swept through, extinguishing the feeble candles. The room plunged into darkness, and I felt a presence surrounding me, unseen hands brushing against my skin. The ghostly children's laughter transformed into mournful cries, a symphony of pain that reverberated through the haunted orphanage. Desperation clawed at me as I sought an exit, but the building seemed to resist, trapping me in its spectral embrace. The air grew thick with sorrow as the anguished spirits shared their tales, making it clear that the echoes of their suffering would forever linger in the forsaken halls of the abandoned orphanage.
Dread seeped into my bones as I crossed the threshold of the derelict hospital. The stench of decay hung heavy, a grotesque perfume of forgotten suffering. Graffiti-covered walls told tales of trespassers, but their warnings only fueled my curiosity. Shadows danced with malicious intent as my flashlight flickered uncertainly, revealing the remnants of a twisted medical facility. The air was pregnant with the silence of abandonment, broken only by distant, chilling echoes. I navigated the labyrinthine corridors, each step sending echoes that reverberated through the decaying halls. A door cracked open with the reluctance of a long-slumbering ghost, revealing a room frozen in time. Rusty hospital beds stood as spectral witnesses to the anguish that once filled the space. A guttural moan pierced the stillness, and I froze. Panic clutched at my throat as the corridor twisted and turned, leading me to a chamber bathed in an eerie crimson glow. Shadows danced on the walls, forming grotesque shapes that whispered of ancient rituals and forbidden knowledge. A rusted cage in the corner held remnants of a tortured past, and the floor seemed to pulse with a malevolent heartbeat. As I approached a weathered book on a dusty pedestal, the room plunged into darkness. Whispers intensified, recounting tales of a cursed bloodline that had woven itself into the mansion's very foundation. The book's pages turned on their own, revealing illustrations of eldritch horrors that lurked beyond the veil of sanity. Suddenly, the walls seemed to close in, squeezing the air from my lungs. Unseen hands gripped at my very soul, and the whispers transformed into anguished cries. The crimson glow intensified, casting elongated shadows that reached out like spectral claws. Panic seized me as I stumbled backward, desperately seeking an escape from the suffocating grip of the mansion's spectral malevolence. In the throes of darkness, I glimpsed the ghastly figure once more, its eyes gleaming with an insatiable hunger for the fear it instilled. The corridor stretched infinitely, a nightmarish labyrinth with no exit in sight. The mansion had become a living entity, a purveyor of nightmares that sought to ensnare me within its eternal grasp. As the shadows closed in, I realized that escape was an illusion in this accursed mansion. I was condemned to wander its haunted corridors, forever entangled in the echoes of a malevolence that transcended the boundaries of the living and the dead.
The abandoned mansion loomed in the moonlight, a crumbling relic of forgotten opulence. Each step on the decaying floorboards echoed through the empty halls like a macabre symphony. The air was thick with a foreboding stillness that clung to my skin. I cautiously explored rooms adorned with faded wallpaper and shattered chandeliers, catching glimpses of the past's extravagance now tainted by time's relentless decay. In a forgotten ballroom, the remnants of a grand party lay frozen in time, Overturned chairs and shattered glass spoke of a chaotic end to a celebration lost to history. As I delved deeper, a distant sound reached my ears. A mournful melody played on a long-forgotten piano. My heart quickened, and I followed the haunting notes through winding corridors. The origin of the music seemed to shift, leading me deeper into the mansion's labyrinthine grip. In a dimly lit chamber, I discovered a decaying grand piano, its keys moving on their own accord, playing a ghostly tune that resonated with a melancholic beauty. The air turned frigid as a spectral figure materialized beside the instrument, clad in a tattered gown. Hollow eyes met mine, filled with the sorrow that transcended time. As I attempted to flee, the mansion seemed to resist my escape. Doors slammed shut, trapping me in a nightmarish waltz with the supernatural. Whispers echoed through the halls, recounting tales of tragedy and betrayal that seeped into the very foundation of the mansion. In my frantic attempts to break free, the ghostly pianist's lament intensified, creating a dissonant cacophony that reverberated through my mind. The boundary between the living and the lingering spirits blurred, and I became an unwitting participant in the mansion's spectral performance, ensnared in the tragic tale it sought to tell.